Good afternoon, all my colorful friends out there. I hope you're enjoying this very lovely, beautiful autumn day. Finally, we've got some cool weather down here in the south, and it's feeling like autumn time. So just really nice, sunny. You can see the sun coming in on me, but sunny and nice. And yeah, Picasso's here today too. Say hi. Say hi. Anyway, what I'm doing like an intro video for this video that I'm putting out. It started out, I really didn't even know that I was going to do a video out of this stuff, but I started out experimenting with some different ways to paint my cement projects. So I had made like three bird baths, bird feeders that you could use for outside, and did them with using the leaf imprint. The first one I did was an elephant ear, which I had made one of those before for myself. And the second one, I actually took some of my Plumeria leaves. If you don't know what Plumeria is, it's got beautiful edging on it. But I used the Plumeria leaves. That's the flower that the Hawaiians make billets out of. So, but I had to use several of them. I used ones that were much bigger than this. And then for the third one, I used philodendrons, which have like real fingery leaves, you know. So it didn't turn out quite as pretty as I would have liked, but it does have a lot of texture in it with those leaves, and you do see the leaf imprints on it. But I wanted to try to do some different ways of painting them. I love the acrylic pools and pores that people are painting, and you get those little cells. And if you notice in this video on the elephant ear, I'd actually taken a picture, which I'll show, of one of the elephant ears that's kind of getting older, and it starts on the edge getting a little yellow, and then it kind of turns in on the edge and has some yellows and browns and all in it. So I kind of was trying to think of some way to recreate that. Well, the one product I needed that I forgot what it was, flow through anyway, that they all use, are they didn't have it. I had to order it online, so it didn't come in when I was doing some of these paintings. But I used the water and glue, and was going to use a straw to blow it out. So I never got cells. You know, I don't know whether it's because of the concrete, the interaction of chemicals, or what. But I never got the cells. But I got some unique and different looks, you know. And that's what this video is about. It's showing you what I did to get these different looks. I do want to warn everybody. When I was working with the silicone, and this was just the silicone spray, I know they say you can use KY jelly, which has got silicone in it, and maybe the smell of it is not quite as bad, but I did have a fan going to circulate the air, and the door was open. But I got very nauseous and very sick from the smell, especially when I'd hit it with the heat gun to try to make those cells in my paint. Just very nauseous. And also, that is a warning if you do it. I think if I do anything else with the silicone, I would be doing it outside with the fan blowing to really circulate that air, because it really did. It made me so nauseous and so sick, and then I had to quit. But anyway, this video is about exploring different ways to paint our cement projects. So I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. Maybe it'll help you to get out and explore some different techniques. If you have some, and if you find out some, please, down in the comments. I'm sorry, I'm being visited by Picasso. Are you a camera hound today? Please leave it down in the in the comments, because I appreciate any help, any ideas that anybody has. And if you don't mind, give it a thumbs up on this video if you watch it, and maybe hit the subscribe button so we can all do crafty projects together. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my afternoon. I think Picasso is too. Oh, my sweet boy. And except it's kind of hard to do the camera and love on your dog at the same time. I can do it both. I can love on my dog. He's always wonderful helping me out. So anyway, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to put this video together, and hopefully it'll help you. And like I said, please, if you have any comments, leave them down below, and any tips, anything that will help us out as cement workers, crafters, just party people. That's what we are. We're party people. All right. Have a blessed afternoon and stay safe. I have been working. I haven't been goofing off. I've been making these giant leaf bird feeders, bird baths. This one over here is made from a giant elephant ear. So I've got my primary color on the back, and I'm going to try something different. And I'm going to try it on the back side first in case it didn't look good. But I took this picture of the natural aging process of elephant ears. And as you see, they kind of get yellowy, brownish, different colors. So what I'm doing is I'm going to try like they do, kind of like they do the acrylic pours. If I pour my yellow out again, keep pouring out. So I have like 3 different colors of green and some yellow and brown. And this is already water and glue together, Elmer's glue. Oh, hold on. So I'm just kind of mixing that Elmer's glue and water to give it a nice thin consistency so it'll pour better. I think I'm going to need some more, so I'm going to do that with all the colors. And then I haven't lost where I set it at. Where did I set it? Oh, over here I set it. I'm going to give it the squirt of silicone in there to see if I can get that cell formation that they get. And I've got my hot gun, air gun in here. And yeah, well, let me get this mixed up, and then it'll be a trial and error to see if it works. For one thing, there's this big chunky lunky like that. I don't know where that came from. It's more this lighter colored green in there. And maybe go ahead with a little bit of my yellow. But I do not see any of those cells forming. just going to see if we hit it with this. I don't know, but it's a little different effect. So I'm going to turn the camera off and continue. I won't bore you with my experiment. I'll show you what happens when I'm finished. Okay, it is a very different look. Not sure it's quite the look I was going for. I think if I do it again, I'm going to let gravity do the work instead of me using this thing and blowing, because frankly it made me a bit nauseous. So yeah, I'll have to see if I'm going to do the other side like this or not. It sure doesn't look like the pictured one. Okay, I did the back of these. This is going to be my bird bath, bird feeder, done with Plumeria leaves. I'll turn it over in just a minute. But, you know, the elephant ear one that I did, and I blew on it, and I'm not real impressed with the effect I got. Plus, it took forever to do, and I got very much a headache blowing. I was using one of these big tubes that I could blow through this in. I have a bunch of these. If anybody else is into blowing acrylic stuff, you know, I'll probably sell them. I got them at auction. I'm pretty sure they're some kind of medical something. They have a little cotton thing in the end, plunger deal that I took out to use it to blow with. But anyway, I have a bunch of them. But I need to get my primer coat on this. Now this one, the Plumeria leaves, this is my Elmer's glue and water to dilute the paints with. Find a place to put it that I don't knock it over. Yeah, and to help bind it when you dilute them. Okay, gonna sit you down just a minute so I can turn this over. Cement, very heavy. This is my little mushroom over here too. This was my first one I made using the sock. But these were Plumeria leaves that I put together and kind of taped down and put the cement on. I just kind of dripped when I did the bottom of it and used the heat gun a little bit to blow the paint around instead of my breath, which was much easier on me. So I do have another one that I have made using Philodendron leaves, but I have no more room inside my shop. It's still outside. So I'll go out in a little bit and show you it, because I need to get my base coat on it too. But I'm going to go ahead while I'm in here, put my base coat on these two insides. Well, I have now painted my hand. Okay, I'm trying something different over here. I put my base coat on, kind of wet, sprayed it down with a light coat of the silicone, drizzled my other colors on. So let's see, we'll turn on the hair dryer and see if we can move these colors around a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be enough power. I'm not wanting to blow on. Like I said, blowing did not do me so good. I may not have enough color in here. I'll finish and then I'll turn the camera back on. Okay, didn't work out so good. Wound up basically using my finger and finger painted it because it just did not move it. I guess the texture on cement is just so great that it just, even trying to turn it and tilt it, it wouldn't spread out the way I wanted it to. But it's an interesting effect anyway. You know, when you see leaves in nature, you got a little brownish, a little greenish. So, leaving this one like it is, and I'm going to go work on the elephant ear, which I think I'm just going to paint. I don't know. I still got a lot of color mixed up, so I may see what I want to do on it. But it's fun experimenting and seeing. I do know, I think why I got nauseous, it's not so much the blowing. It's when I hit this with the hot heat gun. This. To heat it up, to help it dry and crinkle up a little bit. I think that heat on the silicone is what makes me more nauseous than the blowing, because I did use the straw and blow some on this and I didn't feel nauseous, but just as soon as I heated that silicone, yep, I'm feeling a bit nauseous. So I think that's what it is. I've got a fan going and I got a door open, but apparently you need lots of ventilation. Maybe something I need to do outside. This is one of the messiest kind of paintings I've ever done. Yep, there's my finger painting. I've already washed my hands, but I mean, I have got paint all over the place. I see now why those acrylic pours have their own little room. I had to watch because this is some of my eBay stuff over here, and I was blowing and getting it up there. But, yep, here's the elephant ear. I just basically drizzled on it. It's got a little silver in there from, let's show you, this mirror effect. Give you a little silver. So I'm going to let them dry, and I'm going to go on outside and my one that's outside, see what kind of damage I can do to it. I think I'm just going to put it at a basic primer, white coat on it, and maybe go with sponge painting. There's probably enough paint in here left over to sponge paint it with. Just roll it around on the floor. Like I said, I see why the people that do those acrylic pourings and stuff, they seem to have their own little room to do it in, because it goes everywhere. This is my one outside. I got the coat on it. I use more of a bowl on it. This is philodendron leaves. I'll show you after that dries when I get ready to do the other side. But as you see, it's very rounded, so it won't sit straight. So out of some molds, it will sit on this. These are little owls. They came out of a silicone mold. Love those silicone molds. So yeah, I'm going to take a break, go in the house, clean up a little of me. Yeah, I'm a work of art. And then I'll come back later and turn this over and get the base coat on the inside. I do think on this I'm just going to do like a dry brush. There's so much texture, and when I turn it over, you'll see all the texture. Plus, I have the little owls that'll probably be a different color than the actual bow. And I want to get this project done because I've got so many other projects that lots of little hands, little skeletons, but I got lots of other little projects I want to do. So, yeah, ready to take a break. Okay, now I turned this other bird feeder, bird bath. I don't know, it's kind of going to be kind of deep to be a bird feeder. But I use the Philodendron. And as you can see, there's a lot of texture. This is the first leaf imprint that I actually had a really hard time getting all of the leaf out of it because of the overlapping details in it. So that's why I say too that this is probably going to look better as just doing a dry brush on it after I get the base coat. And being used on that round bowl, I actually made these little owls using this silicone mold. I love the silicone molds. It makes the stuff come out so easy, so easy. But anyway, I'll set you down for 1 second. Sorry about that. Now you can see how this is going to work. The bowl will sit on top of the owls. So I'm going to go ahead and get my coat of primer on the inside and kind of decide what I'm going to go from there. Well, I know for one thing my owls are going to be a brown, but I'm not real sure what color this is going to be. Maybe just some dry brush, some different shades of green. Okay, this is pretty much dry out here. I don't think that the silver showed up like I was wanting it to. I see a little bit down in there, but not the mirror shine that I really wanted. My neighbor suggested putting some in a cup and flicking it with a toothbrush to get some little dots of silver. I see a little silver in there, but I kind of wanted more of a starburst of silver from that mirror paint. And for this one over here, and the one that we just visited outside when I paint them, I'm going to use a little of the gold leaf on it just to buff up the edges a little. It's still kind of wet down in those grooves, but I don't plan on getting in the grooves, just a little highlight. Let me do that. Okay, just a few little bit of highlight. Give it a little glitz with the gold leaf. Rub on. Let it dry overnight, and then it's going to get a little finishing clear lacquer tomorrow. And it's going to be ready to go next week out to the Saturday night auction house, hoping somebody will like it. I did try using the brush with some of the mirrors, and that seems to work out much better than mixing it with the paint and the silicone. Yeah, lots of little mirror-y, little too much almost right there. Oh, look, my fingernails mirror-y too. I said I was ready for Halloween coming up, but I guess a lot of the green came off of my nails. But yeah, let these dry out real good. I decide how I'm going to paint the other one that's outside that's going to have the owls on it. I've got something in mind for it. It's going to be a dry brush on it, not try any of the silicone stuff. I don't know about that. Unless somebody knows of some silicone that doesn't make you nauseous to use and all. Clean my walls off because too it made a mess of my walls out here in my shop area. But let this dry, give it all a coat, and then we'll see what they think about it out at the auction house. So this is the last of my bird bath projects. This is the one that's done with Philodendron, and that had a lot of good texture in it. And of course, with it being a bowl, I made this stand with owls to put it on. I was just going to use a dry brush with a dark olive green on it, but I have decided to give one more try to using some silicone, since now I have, other than dropping it, now I have this stuff in that I didn't have before, and I have distilled water. So I'm just going to mix up a little bitty bit in a cup of, like I said, this is actually, it's called English ivy, and I'm going to try it on the bottom of the owl stand. Now, from what I understand, this is my deal that I've made up with the screen, because from what I understand, this flow through, you really need to have something to strain it through, because it gets really clumpy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and mix it up and see what happens now that I have what's supposed to have. And I'm outside where it's nice and well vented, so hopefully I won't get nauseous with the silicone. I do not have a heat gun out here, so we'll just have to see. I just think the artists that use the acrylic paint and they do the pores and stuff, and they get those little cells, it's just so nice and so fun looking. So I'm gonna, like I said, give it one more try. Okay, I've got it mixed up. It's pretty olive green color. Got the silicone and the flow through in there. It's still kind of thick compared to what those things, but plans are I'm going to put my distilled water on here. So I'm just pouring some water from the thing that leaks. Plenty of water, plenty of water, plenty of water, plenty of water, all the way over it. Okay, now we're dripping with water. So, dribble some green on it. Oh, very cool looking. I hope you can see it. The water is carrying it. really need it thin, I guess. Okay, still not getting the effects I want, so I don't know. Old people have a hard time blowing. I'm running out of breath. All right. I don't know if you can see that good or not. Let me get the camera out over here. Yeah, I see none of the little cells that I was looking for. Yep. So, I think I'm just going to go back to my original thoughts of just dry brushing and see if I can get all those little details as my dog eats my things. So bring that back to Mommy. That's my blower. I need my blower. I do need my blower. Brain, hey you, you're gonna break it. Don't break it. A little entertainment from the dogs. Yeah, actually, I'm kind of liking this. Just kind of dragging the brush through it. It's not a dry brush technique, but it is getting a lot of those textures to show back up for me. Turn it around this way. So, ooh, my poor owls. Good thing I haven't painted my owls yet. They're getting a little nasty looking under there. Kind of muddied looking. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if anybody has any ideas on how to get those cells to show up on cement. Like I said, it could be just a chemical thing. I need a bigger brush. Just a chemical thing that it's not going to react with the properties in cement. And see, now it's just way too heavy. In the green. Get some of that water to see if we can wash it off. Well, it was a try. You know, you always have to try stuff. and it just did not at all turn out the way I was hoping. Let's try this, get the old rag in, because I really would want my textures to show. So, okay, here we go. This is kind of, other than not being able to get the cells, this is kind of the look I'm going for. How's that? Thumbs up? Yay? Nay? Like I said, I'm glad I hadn't painted my owls yet. So, I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to get that same look over here on the big bow. I think I'm going to do, gosh, cement heavy. I think I'm going to do the back first. My turntable almost don't even want to turn with this big heavy bow on it. So let me do that. I'm just going to brush some water on it, or maybe to thin this out. I probably won't even need to mix up. I brought a whole new bottle out here thinking I was going to need lots, but don't think I will. So here I'm going to try to go ahead and put the rest of this olive green on here. Okay, I have both bottoms done. You know, it didn't make those cells, but I did kind of like the way it's pooling. It has a pooling effect. You can see where I had signed my name and the date into the concrete, the cement, that it kind of pulled. I did use a misty bottle with little misty water, and then my big brush. So, yeah, like I said, it's not the cell effect that I kind of was looking for, but it does really show the textures off. I'll let the backs dry, and then I'll get around to the front area. And I do have a lot. I was kind of concerned that doing this was going to use up a heck of a lot of paint, because when I watch those acrylic pours, they really use a lot of paint on them, or it seems to. But with this stuff that I did pour through my screen, my handmade screen, I didn't seem to see any lumps and clumps in it, but it does help, you know, to help the paint go a little further. So yeah, this is the back side here, and then my back side over here that I got an awful lot of water on. Gonna let them dry and turn them over and do the front, and then see if I can fix my little owls under there. They'll be brown. Come back later. Just look at this. Look at this. Yeah. That's almost that cell look. Geez. Yeah, maybe if I'd had other colors, it would have looked more, but actually, that's the look I was going for. The only thing I know that I did different from the others is I covered the paint that I'd mixed up, and it sat out here for a couple hours while the backside was drying. Backside. And then I spritzed it with water and did the paint, and it immediately started drawing up and making the little cell designs. So maybe that's a secret. I need to let the paint sit for a little while with the silicone and stuff in it. Very pleased with that. So now I'm going to give it a little touch of the gold leaf, and then get it sealed up. I have the owls inside painting on them, but yeah, Very, very surprised when I came out here and saw this. Very surprised. Here they are, my 3 bird bath feeders, all finished, made using nature's leaves. This first one that I had tried to replicate the changing of the color on an elephant ear as it gets older. Here's a picture of what I took out in my yard. And this is the colors I was trying to replicate. Looks pretty good. Got the little stand on it. Signed with the year. Finished. Sealers on it, nice big. I definitely will want to make more of these. Not sure if I'm going to try this silicone painting technique, because this was really an experiment in techniques. I don't know if you can see the little flakes down in here, but that was that Miro spray paint that I kind of put on. I actually put it on a toothbrush and then splattered it in here to give little tiny flakes of silver from the mirror. It shows up a little more over here. Give it a little glitz, because I like that sparkly. Okay, and this one was done with Plumeria flower leaves. They have a lot of texture in them. Here's a picture. You can see a lot of texture. Again, I was continuing trying to use that method of the acrylic painters, or that do that pours, those acrylic pours, and I was trying to use their method to get the little what they call cells in it, but didn't really have no luck. I just mainly got kind of sick with the smell of the acrylic. Again, this one's on a stand and all, but this was done with just laying the Plumeria leaves out. I love the textures we're getting. The last big bow was the one that I did outside. Did use the silicone. Oh, and on this I used the gold rub on it to give it a little glitz. That's called gold leaf rub that comes in a tube. And on this one I did outside and used the silicone and all, and was surprisingly did get a little bit of the cell looks in it. As you can see here. And the only thing I could figure out I did different was the fact that I let the paint sit for a little while. And on this one too, this was done with the Philodendron leaves, which are very fingery type leaves. And it was kind of hard to pull all the leaves out after the cement had set up. But as you can see, this is more like a big bowl. So I don't know if you could use it for a bird bath. They may drown in that. But yeah. And this is the stand I made for it. The little owls, I did a little touch of that gold leaf on the owls to make their eyes and all show. And the owls, again, if I remind you, I used the silicone mold, which I'm loving for my experimenting with different things to use for molds. The silicone works really good, really good. I when I was doing it, I was so busy outside. I had to actually set that down on the ground and pour my cement in it. And I'm pretty sure I did not shake it real good to get air bubbles out. And as you can see, like right here, where an air bubble was on the beak and all. So, yeah, quite a few in here, air bubbles. So, yeah, if I do it again, oh, there's a brush, piece of a brush in there. I don't know how you keep brushes out. They always fall apart. Even when I buy expensive ones, I still wind up with a little brush hair in there. But, yeah, next time I pour in the owls, I'll put it where I can give it a good shake and a good tap and a good beat to be sure all the air bubbles are out of all these little places so they don't leave gaps in it. But this was my experimenting with some different painting techniques. And there's my one mushroom that I've made. And I just used the dry brush method over it to kind of give it texture and let the texture show up in the cement. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so we can all stay in contact and help each other out with our cement projects. I'll be doing more coming up. I've got several projects lined up to do. I'm not real fast getting these videos done and getting them out, so just be patient, and hopefully when I get it, you'll get notified. If you're subscribed, you'll get notified that I have a new video out. Leave your comments below. Most of these are going to go out to probably the Saturday night auction house because they're way too big to ship. So we'll see how they do out there. I hope everybody will like them. I'm thinking next spring we do have a local nursery and they've already closed down for the winter. But I'm thinking maybe next spring, maybe taking some out to them to see if they would be interested in selling them for me, because they sure are a lot of fun to make. A lot of fun to make, and I love the natural looks in them and all. So I'm hoping everybody's going to stay safe, be kind to each other, take care of each other in all these times that we just really don't know what's going on. Yeah, just stay safe. Love you all out there, and talk to you soon.